This guy here, who tried to do a festival in 2017. I don't know if you guys remember this. They did a couple documentaries about it. It was spectacular. It was incredible. It was a failure of epic proportions.
Epic proportions. So bad that he went to jail over it.
Not even a little bit of a failure. And on top of that, he dragged in Kendall Jenner and Bella Hadid and all of these supermodels.
All these models, like in the Bahamas, the most insane festival the world has ever seen.
Island getaway turned disaster.
It became very barbaric.
Right now, we are the laughing stock of everything.
Just wait until you see what you're getting yourselves into.
American rapper Ja Rule is in the Bahamas with his business partner.
Billy McFarlane
is an amazing entrepreneur.
He can convince anyone of pretty much anything.
They just bought an island. Pablo Escobar's island. Oh my God.
We're gonna throw a festival, yeah.
Within 48 hours,
they sold out. These guys are either completely full of shit or they're the smartest guys in the room.
And then one picture of cheese on toast ripped down the festival.
The event's co-founder is facing up to 20 years in prison.
If you had thousands of dollars to go on a trip to see Blink-182, that's on you. That is Darwinism at its finest.
Oh, so true. Now, thank you very much, Ron Funches there. So this guy does this festival, and it was supposed to be like you're on an island, and it's going to be like, think of all these. We talked yesterday about the MILF Festival, whatever it's called, the 1999 festival. But think about it on an island, and it's gorgeous. And there's only going to be a few people, right? And you're going to have all of these bands, every rapper you can think of, it's only for beautiful, rich people. And this guy sold it to the world. And the first thing he did is he leased the island. It wasn't from Pablo Escobar, because he was dead. It was actually from the people who own the island, who got it from Carlos later, who was he was part of the Medellin cartel. And they said, if you even mention these things, we'll take it away from you. They did. So they moved it to the Bahamas. Now, you're supposed to get the lap of luxury. And I'm talking about the lap of luxury.
Oh, it was supposed to be like all-inclusive.
All-inclusive.
These phenomenal hotel rooms and these 5-star meals.
Yes. And that's why they said the first picture that came out of there was a picture of a styrofoam thing with a piece of cheese on a piece of bread. We're talking about, this is supposed to be Michelin chefs on this island. And it's not an island, by the way. They're next to a Sandals in the Bahamas. It's pouring rain. The beds for the yurts were all left outside because they're sopping wet. And it's actually supposed to be in a parking lot. Oh, by the way, here's the greatest thing. There's no bands. There's nothing. He ended up going to jail. So you're thinking to yourself, that went well. Bell, that went so well. He gets out of jail. What do you think he's going to do?
Fyre 2 is real. My dream is finally becoming a reality.
8 years after the infamous Fyre Festival spectacularly flamed out,
No one can get in the room,
leaving attendees who'd been expecting a glamorous music festival, sleeping in emergency relief tents and eating cheese sandwiches.
Okay, how long till water comes?
The failed festival even gaining global attention, with streaming documentaries showcasing the debacle.
The biggest event in a decade, I promise you.
Its founder, Billy McFarlane, who spent 4 years behind bars for fraud, says it's back and will actually happen safely this time. McFarlane sat down exclusively with NBC News, revealing the festival's exact location, Isla Mujeres, Mexico, and new dates, May 30th to June 2nd, pushed back by a month.
What? It's been pushed back by a month, Bell.
One of the most telling parts of his story was that artists were not getting paid the deposits that they required.
Yes.
And they started publicly saying, hey, we're not going to be there. This guy's not paying us what we agreed to. And then suddenly that's when everybody started to notice the cracks in the old eggshell, so to speak.
The cracks were spectacular. So some of these bands didn't even know they were on the bill. They weren't even told. I mean, it was crazy. This guy raised so much money. So you're thinking to yourself, well, it's been pushed back a month.
And that's what you're talking about is part of where the fraud came in, because he's trying to make claims that people he had no contractual obligations to and had no contractual obligations to him were going to be there, and they weren't.
No, they weren't even asked.
It was pure fraud.
Pure fraud. And he raised a ton of money. He did. So they're pushing it back a month. Okay.
We just needed the extra month to give our partners time to get everything ready.
Using partners is new this time around. McFarlane is no longer handling the details. A major festival operator is on board, along with hotel and travel partners and ticketing companies.
Why do you think those partners agreed to partner with you, given what happened the first time?
Fyre 2 really isn't about the past, and it's not really about me. It's about taking the vision, which is strong.
Tickets go on sale this morning, just $2,000 in total, ranging in price from $1,400 to $1.1 million. An experience McFarlane says includes yacht accommodations and access to artists performing, though no artists have been announced yet.
And we're going to get to that in a second. Now get ready for this. You know who's going to go to this? Stupid people who want to be a part of something that is ridiculous, and if it fails, it's just as exciting as if it succeeds. Because the want to be viewed. Those people that went the first time and it went to hell, they, in the social media world, they're like super famous. Oh my God, this is great. Did you know I went to this? This is it. Now, this is where it gets great. Are you guys ready for this? They ask him about who's going to be performing.
So we're going to have artists across electronic, hip-hop, pop, and rock. However, it's not just music. We might have a professional skateboarder do a demonstration. We might have an MMA champion teach you techniques in the morning. And
you say we might have. Are any of these for sure haves? Are they booked?
So I think what makes Fyre so cool is that we are selling the experience of Fyre. I want to be one of the first festivals that can sell out with no artists.
But you do have them booked.
We're announcing the artists over the next few months, so I'm not in charge of booking the talent.
Will these be A-list names that are involved?
I really hope so, and I expect so from our conversations.
So did you guys get that? I don't know who's going to be there. Could be jugglers.
What I heard was nobody trusts me enough to handle this on my own, so we brought the pros in.
We brought the pros in. When I said earlier why this is fascinating, because to have the balls to do this again, to come out of prison and to go, I'm going to do it again. I mean, come on. That's some gumption, boys. Hey, guys, remember that time? You guys remember that time? I stole a bunch of money and screwed everybody over? Yeah, this time I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to have help with other people, and maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know who the company is that's partnered with him, but if it's a true, quote-unquote, professional organization, I want to know what he had to promise them in order to get them to come on board, because his brand is so tarnished.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Not only is it, they've got this place in Mexico, which is probably better than the place they were last time, but on top of that, he probably had to put up some money. Because here's the one thing. If you watched any of these, because there was 2 big documentaries about this, if you watch any of this, it's fascinating. Even when he is at the point where it is, there's wolves at the door, right? They're there. They're coming in. He still doesn't stop. He still has this belief. Now, here's my favorite part of the whole thing. I hope he enjoys Fyre Festival, except for the part where he probably can't go.
But whether McFarlane will see any of this firsthand, an open question, because part of his penalty restricts his travel.
Can you go to Mexico?
So I don't know. I have to be okay with mentally maybe watching a live stream from my computer and crying a little bit. I have to ask for international travel.
McFarlane says he knows the experience might not be for everyone.
It's 2,000 people taking the risk, seeking the adventure, and wanting to be there for the moment.
Taking the risk. Is it a risk to buy a ticket to Fyre Festival too?
I think it's always a risk. You're taking a risk because I made a lot of bad decisions and messed up the first festival. Until it's experienced, there is a risk component to it.
What I love about him, that was Al Roker, by the way, laughing. He's like still laughing. It's like, oh my God. And I love it. You know, at the end, he was honest. He's like, yeah, there's a risk. There's a risk that I could abscond with the money.
Yeah, I may get really rich off this, and everybody show up, and there's no show.
So, well, he's got 4 people to running the lead. Here's the interesting thing. So, He has to pay $500,000 of the festival proceeds immediately off the top as part of the $26 million settlement that he has to pay. And then once they've recouped their money, and the bands and everybody's paid, but once that's all recouped, then he's got to take the rest, and I think he splits it. But again, the cojones to do this and to get out in front of it is awesome. I mean, it's if you go, that's on you. But you know what? Even if you go and you're a influencer and it goes to crap, you almost want it to go to crap because it's better for you.
So he is promoting a massive music festival, and no artist may show up.
No, his whole thing is, I want to sell it out first, because the whole thing is, I have a feeling, we've put a deposit down. We're going to sell it out first. If we can get $3 or $4 million, I can book the motels or whoever. I don't know who it is.
And if they start rolling out artists, if they slow down in sales and they start rolling out artist names, that'll help pick it back up.
Yeah,
and that's why he's not going to announce anybody until A, it's got to be a done deal. The contracts have to be signed, and B, he wants people to buy off the quote unquote experience as much as he can before he starts naming artists.
This is going to be awesome. I want it to, you know what? I want it to work because I think people will be bummed if it works. I do. I think people will be sad. I think people are going for the experience of a nightmare.
Well, that would certainly be a change of pace for him if it worked.
Oh, I can't believe that worked.